Hi, welcome to a new episode of Just a Digital Podcast. And Happy New Year if you're Korean and Chinese who's listening to this. It was New Year in lunar calendar on this Tuesday. Yeah, it was this Tuesday. And the reason I'm saying this is I'm literally recording this episode in Jeju. Just like my podcast title, I'm finally recording the episode in Jeju. And I've been looking forward to this, to record it in my own house where I grew up for 20 years, almost 20 years, I think. And I've been thinking about it, I've been imagining about it. And because it's really happening, it feels weird because it just feel like, even the title is called Jeju. Sometimes I feel like, because I've always recorded it in my small apartment in Yongin or Seoul. Somehow it didn't feel like I was far away from Jeju. I just always felt like I was in Jeju because I'm recording the episode. I'm recording a podcast which is named Jeju in it, and I talk about Jeju all the time in this podcast, so it feels weird to record it in Jeju, but it feels awesome as well at the same time. And as you can see the title of the podcast every time you guys listening to this, the reason I came up with this title is because I've been recently feeling quite emotional every day, and I don't know why, but sometimes it was really hard for me to manage my emotions and trying to get off the emotional roller coaster, emotional turmoil in my life. And sometimes it's really, really demanding because there's nothing special, nothing bad is happening in my life at all. My life seems smooth and all right at the moment. Like, I'm healthy, my family members are healthy, my friends are healthy, my partner's healthy, and it seems everything's fine. But somehow I think I was born as a person who was very emotionally, who feels things very deeply. If you put it in a very positive way, then I can manage to say that I feel very deeply. Okay, like a lot of people would think I was a very emotional person. I try not to be seen as an emotional person because I know in this modern world, being known as a person who's emotional is not the best reputation that people are seeking for. And I think people always want something that is the opposite of themselves, which is, as an emotional person, I've always been envious towards people who is not emotional, who seems unemotional. I you know what? I believe everyone is very emotional. I believe everyone is sensitive. It's just a matter of, are you good at expressing it or hiding it, whatever. So yeah, I do believe that human beings are fundamentally emotional and fundamentally weak. Okay, weak is not the best term, but you know what I mean. I think everybody is sensitive, everybody's emotional. It's just a matter of how mature you are, whether you know how to express it well to the person that you're talking to, because at the same time, it is not wise at all to suppress your feelings, repress your feelings, in order to look cool, and somehow you will eventually end up with bursting your emotions to your favorite person in the world and makes them feel horrible because of you. That's really bad. That's the worst scenario. So I think maturity comes from how well you manage your feelings, your emotions. And there is a quote that totally aligns with the statement that I just told you, is that, so there is a Korean celebrity that a lot of people knows. She's called Choi Ha-jung, by the way. Like, if you're Korean, I think most of Korean wouldn't know her. She said, life is about managing your emotions. You say it in Korean, 인생은 기분 관리야. And I I think it's been a while that she got a bit famous by saying that quote, and it also resonated with me so much because I remember my childhood, my teenage years, and also my adult years that I kind of ruined my whole day because of my emotion, which is not that important. Just thinking of it right now, it's just a single tiny emotion that made me annoyed and irritated by something that I don't even remember anymore. You know, it's same as something by, I think it was a monk who said this, is that, do you even remember your previous issues, your previous concern 3 months ago? Like exactly 3 months ago, what were you worried about? And 90% of people can't even remember what they were worried about exactly. And so do I. Like, I concern almost every day, and sometimes it kills me, sometimes it makes me feel really bad, and sometimes it ruins my day, ruins my sleep. But even though I've been in emotional roller coaster every day, and somehow I just can't even remember those emotions that was killing me that back then, and I don't remember right now. And because she said that, it kind of woke me up, and kind of was able to organize my statement towards emotions. And yes, emotions are really important, but like I said, the maturity of that person comes from how you manage your emotions, rather than suppressing it, and rather than just, avoiding it. I think it's really important to know your way, your statics, to manage your feelings, your emotions, because everybody's different. Everybody has their individual personality, individual way of thinking, and individual way of concerning things. Like, I don't know if this term exists in English, but like in Korean, there's a term. If you directly translate it, it means worry dolls. 걱정 인형. 걱정 means worries, and 인형 means dolls. And there are certain people who's like that, who is worried all the time, who's concerned all the time. Even though good things happens, they are worried that it's gonna vanish soon, and it's gonna eliminate, they are worried about everything. Whether good things happen, bad things happen, they're worried all the time. And in Korean, we call them worry dolls. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what I mean. And I think I'm kind of that person. It feels horrible to agree with the fact that I am worried dolls, one of the worried dolls. And because, like, as I said it before, as I just said it in the beginning of the episode, I just don't want to be seen as emotional, because everybody are kind of look up to the person who is the opposite of who they are. And because I'm such a worried doll, I'm really envious towards people who kind of seems cool, right? The cool person, the cool people, who seems to be really good at managing their emotions. And sometimes I also am envious of people who numbs their emotions very quickly and move on. And I don't know if numb is the right term, but like there are certain people who are really good at avoiding and numbing their emotions, in order to move on and go forward. And I think it's kind of different to suppressing your feelings, because I know it's not healthy. I know it's gonna eventually gonna destruct you, and I'm not looking for that, of course. But I'm still in my journey to become a bit more mature as an adult who is good at managing my emotions. And it's only because I am the kind of person who feels very deeply and in a very direct, frank way that means I'm a very emotional person. And as a person who is always on the roller coaster of up and downs, and yeah, like I can be happy for 2 hours and I can be desperately miserable for the next 2 hours, 1 hour, and I may go back to the happy me, and I may stay as a miserable me for the rest of the day. And just by saying it is really embarrassing. And I'm being really, really honest with you guys in this episode, is that I'm revealing my weakness. I'm revealing my vulnerability that I can't even expose it to my closest friends. And because when you're communicating with a person, when you're communicating with your friends or family, I'm kind of obsessed with how well I'm communicating with that person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm concerned about whether that person would feel, oh, she's so talkative, she's too talkative, like, shouldn't she shut up? Because I know I'm a talkative person. I know that if I'm talking, the reason I like introvert people is because they are amazing listener. They would rather listen to me rather than talking by themselves. And I know it sounds horrible, but but because I know that weakness, I know that downside, I've been working on myself about the fact that I should listen more to my friends or to the person that I'm talking to. And because I don't want it to ruin them talking to me, because I don't want to cut what they're talking to me, it kind of makes me feel like I shouldn't talk about this, right? Or sometimes revealing your vulnerability means that you're giving a clue to that person to make me feel vulnerable in order to, I don't know, take advantage from me, whatever that is. And yeah, I'm being really honest, which means I am an emotional person. I like, if you put it in the positive way, then yeah, I feel very deep. I feel things very deeply. When I'm happy, I'm over the cloud. Like I'm in the cloud nine. But if I feel sad, that means I'm gonna be really, really like miserably sad. Like as much as it's gonna destroy me sometimes. And it's nothing like hospital level, like depression level sadness. It just overwhelms me. Sometimes it overwhelms my life. It sometimes overwhelms or ruins my whole day. And because I've been on that emotional roller coaster, emotional turmoil in my life, almost my life, I wanted to know how to manage that. I always wanted to have a personal guide about how I'm gonna manage my feelings. And I also wanted to dedicate this episode to someone who feels similar to myself. Like, you know yourself that you are an emotional person, but you're just so scared of revealing that fact, because in this modern world, being seen as emotional means you're vulnerable. It means that you're kind of weak. It means that you're not stable, right? And like I said, I've been envious towards people who seemed emotionally stable, right? And someone who is very resilient when it comes to managing emotions. Those who might feel miserable because shit happens in life, isn't it? Like, shit happens, and shit happens to everyone. And I've been looking up to people who is truly, truly deeply resilient towards to those emotional roller coasters. And what I felt like is that every time when I feel really depressed and really sad, and the surprising thing is that every time the day after I had a good sleep, like whether it's good or not, like if you had a sleep, like literal sleep in the night, as long as it's not like really, really horrible thing that happened, that horrible enough for you to not sleep, then if you had a sleep in the middle of the night and if you woke up in the morning, like 99% of the times, you feel better. Like 99% of times, like I said it, except I'm excluding those cases that is horrible as much as it's stopping you to go to sleep. I'm excluding that, of course. But like 99% of the times after you slept well, like at least 5 hours in the night, 99% of time you feel better, like surprisingly better. Like you might feel like you wanna die, or you are so depressed. I'm so not bothered to wash the dishes today because I'm so depressed. Like I'm so in the emotional depth, I'm emotional cave right now. I'm in the emotional cave, but the day after, in the morning, after you had a good sleep, you suddenly feel better. Like you suddenly feel a hope in life. And sometimes it's incredible that just a few hours of good sleep makes you feel better, and just a few hours of chatting with your favorite person in the world makes everything 100% better. And I just wanted to emphasize that, like in the title, that no emotion is final, like no emotional final. And every time that quote became my Bible quote. Every time I feel horrible, every time I feel bad, I just keep on talking to myself and telling myself that, Hyunsu, there's no emotions final. No emotion is final. Just do what you have to do and sleep tonight and see how it goes tomorrow morning. And like I said it before, like 99% of times, things get better. 99% of times. And because of that, I wanted to share this with people about how I kind of figured out how to manage my feelings as a naturally very emotional person, because I know there's a lot of people out there who is also naturally a very emotional person like myself, and who might be called a sensitive person, an emotionally sensitive person. And I know it might sound a bit controversial, but like being called a sensitively emotional person, even though this is who I am 100%, I don't want to agree with it, but I know it's true, so I'm just gonna spill the tea that I am an emotional person. And I want to share it with people, how I've managed that roller coaster, that turmoil that happened in my life multiple millions of times in my life, and how did I manage it. And so these are the guide, is that first one is that check your basics. Before you analyze your life, check your body. That's the simple sentence. Like before you analyze your life, because when you feel bad, right? If you feel depressed, it's inevitable for you to check on your life, like what is happening, whether it's about your career, whether it's your love life, whether it's your friendship, whether it's your family, anything to do with your life. But before that, check your body, whether you feel healthy. Basics, just the pure basics, like have you eaten properly? Have you slept enough? Have you moved your body? Are you just exhausted simply? And you know what? That really helped me, because quite a lot of times when I was kind of questioning my life, when I was so puzzled with my life, after I checked on my body first, the basic body statement first, I was able to find a real reason from that. For example, if you've been eating poorly, if you've been sleeping poorly, it's gonna eventually make you feel horrible because you're not even managing your basics. And I highly recommend you to check on your body first, before you check on your life, because I believe most of the people who feel so depressed about their life or so lost in their life, I believe most of the people like that are already doing their best, right? They're already doing the best. In this modern world, it's really easy to fall in the trap that you're not enough, you're falling behind, you're not doing well. everybody is, I don't know, getting promoted, getting married, whatever. That makes you feel like a loser. But I believe most of the people in modern days, they are doing really, really the best. They're really doing the best, and they are already a Superman already. They're just so self-conscious about their lives because they're so ambitious. They are so keen on checking their life first before their body. Always check on your basics. Like I said it before, have you eaten properly? Have you slept enough? Or have you moved your body? Are you just exhausted? How's your mental health lately? Have you been checking yourself? Have you been listening to your mind, your true self? Like, have you been writing journals and listening to yourself, talking to yourself? If you hadn't had enough time to talk to yourself, then make some, at least 10 minutes. Who knows? Like, if your mother, who has like 3 kids, 4 kids, then, you know what? This can be a bit controversial since I have no kids, I'm not married. I don't know what the marriage like, I don't know what life is like with several kids. I don't know how chaotic it is, but at least if you're single, if you're one of the person who can check on yourself at least 10 minutes in your life, then first just check on yourself. Are you communicating with yourself well? Are you talking to yourself well? At least a few minutes in your day. And yeah. So, and secondly, just sleep. Simple. Like I said it at the beginning, most of the problems was resolved by sleep. And like I said it, except those issues, except those concerns that is stopping you to fall asleep, which is quite serious. I know, I am agreeing with the fact those kind of concerns and issues are deadly serious. I can't even think of the examples, but you know what I mean. Except those, 99% of the cases, most of them gets better by just sleeping well. And as a person who sleeps quite well, I haven't been struggling with sleep in my life. And I know there are some people who's been, I don't know, who's very sensitive with sleep and can't really sleep well from their childhood until now. I'm sorry, but this is my personal guide, so I just wanted to share it to people. Might give some inspiration to people who had a similar issue with me. So sleep resolved a lot of things. So what I would do when I feel really bad, when I feel really down, all I do is just do the basic things at home, like brush your teeth and just wash your face, and just do the dead basics and just sleep. And like I said, 99% of times it gets better. Those emotions are gone most of the times. Even though you felt horrible in the last night, there is a chance that you'll feel completely different, completely fine the day after in the morning. So try. And thirdly, journal. As a person who journals every day, and then as a person who can't cope with life without writing my feelings and writing my journals in my diary. The reason I fell in love with journaling, I think I've been writing journals since I was 7, 8, and it was thanks to my parent who were quite obsessed with me, with my writing skills in Korean, yes, and which was quite smart because what they told me is that writing skill is one of the most important and crucial skills, like life skills that you will need in your entire life. And that really helped me. That really changed my life, by the way. So because from the moment that my parents half forced me to write journals, and now I voluntarily, naturally write journals every day. And I don't think I can cope with life if somebody banned me to write journals. If I was told that I don't write journals, I think I'll get depressed very easily because I can't spit it out, right? And as a person who is, I think I have I have really good friends. I have amazing friends, like I referred it in my podcast. But sometimes it doesn't mean that I tell everything to my friends, to my family. Of course, there are some stories, there are some emotions that I never talk to my closest people, that I just kept in my side and just spit it out in my diary. And that separation helped me to be a better person, I believe, because nobody wants to hear people whining. Nobody wants to hear people complaining all the time. And because I'm aware of that, I learned how to control my feelings. I learned how to separate those feelings to a socialized version of Hyunsu, you know? Like I said, it also me, I hate people whining. I hate people, I hate when I have to hear people whining and complaining, not gonna lie. To me, whining and complaining means something that is, if it's repetitive, right? I have no problem with listening to my friends talking about the difficulties in their life. I really don't mind. I would love them to be open about their vulnerabilities to me because I love them, right? But to the point where I feel like it's whining and complaining too much as why am I listening to this bullshit while I'm already struggling with my life? And it's nothing to do with selfishness, I think, but you know what I mean. Nobody wants to hear people whining. Nobody wants to hear people complaining too much, even though those are the people that you love. I think it's different. Yeah, I think it's different because it makes you feel uncomfortable because there's nothing you can do. All you can do is just listening, and who would like to listen to you complain? I don't know, hours and hours. That's why therapists get paid, right? They listen to people whining and crying and complain for hours and hours by being paid hundreds of dollars, whatever. So yeah, and your journal would become your personal therapy, and just by reading your past journals makes you feel like, oh my god, like I was so burdened with these emotions, I was so burdened with these issues in life for a very long time, but now I can't even remember what happened just back then. And because it's written in a journal, now you're able to look back and rewind what's been happening, and you're like, oh my god, I almost forgot what's been happening 3 years ago, 4 years ago, even 1 month ago. And they kind of reminds you that, again, no emotion is final. It changes all the time. If you feel depressed right now, there is a high chance that you'll feel very happy tomorrow morning or 3 hours later, because that's what humans are made. Like, we're all very emotional. Like I said, I believe fundamentally every humans are emotional and sensitive. So, yeah. And fourth is that talk to your safe person. Talk to someone who makes your nervous system calm down. Yes, I'm talking about the nervous system. I think there's a lot of dating coach saying that those signs that you make the person the one is listening to your nervous system, like believing in your nervous system. Do you feel safe? Do you feel like your own version of yourself, not the fake one? And if you have those kind of people who you feel safe, then, for example, that for my case is my brother, because he's my best friend, and he is the person that I feel like the most me, the most myself version towards him, because he's my brother. He knows my life. He knows almost everything that is happening to me right now, and he emphasizes to my situations and my emotions, and there's no judgment at all. So I'm sure you guys also have that kind of person. If you don't, journal. You know, all these dots are connected. Like, yeah. So don't talk to your favorite safe person about what's been happening to you, and just by calling them for 1 hour, I don't know, it can be 2 hours. And after that, I'm sure that you'll feel much better after talking to them and spitting out. Like, it's all connected. Like, writing it down is unvocalized version of spitting out your emotions. spitting out what's happening, and just not just keeping it in. Just write it down. Speak out to your favorite person. If you don't have a person, if you feel safe around, then journal. Talk to yourself, because you're the love of your life. You're yourself is your best friend to yourself. You should be your best friend to yourself, and you're the love of your life. Nobody is gonna save you. Listen to yourself and be your favorite person. Be yourself, best friend. And this might sound lonely, but I believe it's true. So, and just by accepting that is the truth, that there's nobody's gonna rescue myself. It's only yourself who's gonna rescue you. It's only yourself who's gonna be your best friend, no matter what's gonna happen to you. And yourself is gonna be your true love, who's gonna love you forever until you die. And yeah. So those are 4 guides to how to survive the emotional turmoil. Back again, first one was to check the basics first, about your body, and secondly, just sleep. Thirdly, journal. Fourthly, talk to one safe person. It doesn't have to be 2. Just one single person is totally enough. In my case. So yeah. I just want to keep repeating the statement, which is no emotional final. Not your sadness, not your anger, not even your excitement. Even if you feel excited and happy at that moment, there is a 200% of chance that you'll feel depressed tomorrow or sad tomorrow, because again, no emotional final. Like I said, not your sadness, not your anger, not even your excitement. Emotions move. It moves all the damn time. And your maturity proves how you manage that. And it relies on the fact, how you manage your feelings can change your life. It's going to prove how mature you are, how well managing your life, and how happy you're going to be in your life in the future. And right now, of course. So, yeah. I hope this episode helped you. I'm sure there are some people. I'm sure there's going to be people who can't really resonate with this episode, but I just want to dedicate it to people who felt the similar way as a human being, and just felt like, why am I emotional? Why do I feel so deep? While everybody seems to be able to manage their feelings and able to avoid what you can call unneeded, I don't know, those emotions that you shouldn't feel, right? Because it's making your life more difficult sometimes because of the fact that you're emotional. Because I also have some regrets of following my heart, following my emotions, and kind of destroyed the relationship, or I don't know. I can't think of specific examples, but as a teenager or as a young woman, I think I've made several mistakes by just following my emotions, just following my heart. And sometimes looking back and kind of questioning yourself about why you're feeling that way. Again, you should be able to tell yourself, acknowledge yourself that no emotion is final. Emotions move all the damn time. So yeah. Sorry about the episode wasn't uploaded last week due to the New Year's holiday. I'm in Jeju right now. So I think I'm gonna upload another extra episode this week in the weekend. And I hope for you Koreans, for Chinese, I hope you had a great New Year's holiday with your friends and family. So, alright then. See you next time. Bye.